So off they go, obviously, for those new to the mile, 1,609 metres as opposed to the traditional 1,600. Darren Purcell, EJ Davey, Nathan Shute, Eamon Corrie, Shane Clubb, Will Davies and Mark Gregory were on the start list, but we've had a couple of scratchings out of there, missing Darren Purcell and Mark Gregory, I think it is, in hip numbers 1 and 8, but they head up the back straight for the first time, and it's Will Davies just sitting on the front of Shane Clubb, the Newcastle Runners and Hills District athletes respectively, leading the way, and then one of the looks like one of the Sydney Athletics Academy youngsters, I think, Eamon Corrie, sitting in third place just behind them. So they head around into the straight for the first of 4 times. About 53 seconds on the clock, and that distinctive navy blue sash of the Newcastle Runners leading the way from the equally well-known strip of the Hills District. Sydney Athletics Academy then sitting in third, and it's UTS North's Nathan Shute coming around for fourth. So they run through the bell, not the bell, pardon me, the first lap in about 75 seconds or so. So going along at a pretty decent clip in this G race. And a good shot on screen there of the contrast in ages across these evenly seated athletes. EJ Davey from Sydney Stride is one of the stalwarts for anyone who's been around a New South Wales athletics track in the last couple of decades. Remember EJ once competing in a decathlon and a heptathlon on the same weekend of New South Wales Combined Championships here at the Crest one weekend. So a little look over the shoulder for Davies of the Newcastle Runners. But he needn't worry too much about what's behind him, because he's opened up a gap of well over 50 metres now on the youngster from Sydney Athletics Academy, Eamon Corrie. Quite a distinctive style for Davies out the front, very upright, very solid. Coming through the 800 metre mark, and is going to go through 800 in about 2:27 or so, holding his form well. And just looking in behind him now, we've got Sydney Athletics Academy's Eamon Corrie going through in about 2:38. And just looking a little bit further back, it's now UTS North's Nathan Shute, who's worked his way into third position around the shoulder of Shane Clubb. So Davies continues to work his way up the back straight. He comes around this time, he'll get the bell. Just starting to look like he's labouring a bit more now. But he's got a pretty healthy lead on the front. Of course, big gaps in these lower graded races, obviously quite common. They'll certainly tighten up as we work our way through the night. But Will Davies of Newcastle Runners is going to get the bell, go through in about 3:43. So still really motoring along. This should be a sub, or maybe just over 5 minute mile. He's been hitting around that 75 second pace, so if he can run another 75, he'll go sub 5 minutes to take out this G race. He's held his form very, very well all the way through the run. Just got a text from Scott Westcott. So Will Davies actually Rose Davies' brother. Rose Davies, of course, running a 9 minute 3K very recently. One of the absolute talented youngsters in Australian running. So Will comes from a pretty good pedigree. And he's going to swing around into the home straight. Let's see if he can get under a 5 minute mile. It's going to be touch and go. He's going to have to close the last 100 metres in about 20 seconds. So really touch and go here for Will Davies. See if we can get him home to a sub 5 minute mile. He's going to come around the shoulder of EJ Davey. About 15 seconds on the clock to get him over the line. He's working hard, the big fellow from Newcastle. He's made it down the F3 and is going to get his sub 5 minute mile. Very good close of about 72 seconds. I'll have him at about 4:57 unofficial. And we'll make it official for him in the moment. There it is, mate. 4:55.93. Confirmation of Will Davies' sub 5 minute mile. They're still coming over the line now. The youngster Eamon Corrie from the Sydney Athletics Academy, second over the line in 5:18. 5:18 flat.
Matt, just while the last two runners are finishing up, we've seen a lot of mullets tonight.
We have.
Is this the season of the mullet? And if so, have you seen one that particularly takes your eye?
Well, I've always queried how much of an inspiration Ed Goddard is in that regard. I mean, I think I've always described him as having the best mullet in Australian running. I think Jimmy and I mentioned on commentary the other night Gary Howard's son as having an equally impressive one. I got a text from Gaz during the week that the young fellow was chuffed to be compared to Goddard.
Well, we did a bit of an Instagram story with Kane Shields, who really talked up Ed as one of his great inspirations, both on the track and in the hairdresser. So no, it's great to see that the mullet's making an appearance this season. I think maybe a lot of time at home thinking, oh no, I won't cut. I won't cut this week. I won't cut the next week, and then the weeks sort of roll on. So
yeah, definitely. Maybe a little Zoom influence, business in the front, party in the back. So
I like it.
So we've got some more official times from that race. So Will Davies did get the win in 4:55.93. Eamon Corrie 5:18 dead for second, and Nathan Shute was third over the line in 5:35. So I suspect I'm about to be shown the scratchings for not just the 4. Okay, so.
Decent time decent time for a G mile race, 4:55. It's very good running by Will Davies from Newcastle, the 22-year-old. Excellent, good stuff.
So just the one DNS.